If it's not fun, why bother?
There's something about a game that you can just jump into and play. Something about being able to just play the game without any of this filler. So many of Nintendo's games have some of the most generic storylines, but they still put out amazing title after amazing title. Of course there's a place for story-driven games, but if the game isn't fun, I don't want to play it. Gears for Breakfast took this methodology when they created A Hat in Time and ran with it. A Hat in Time takes making sure that the game is fun to heart. There's so much charm packed into one game that I had a smile on my face for almost every single minute. You can tell the developers love video games and are creating something that they're passionate about, and it's not just another cash grab. The gameplay has been done hundreds of times before, but A Hat in Time just does it so well. Controls are so tight and they feel so good. They made platforming more forgiving by allowing Hat Girl to grab onto ledges so everything doesn't have to be so precise. Every single character in this game is lovable and has such a personality. It doesn't make them feel like a carbon copy of the last character you just talked to. Even the side characters have short, funny dialogue that is worth listening to. The writing in this game is so good, and you can tell that the writers had a blast creating all these unique and memorable characters. The game doesn't take itself seriously, and that's a part of it that makes it just so wonderful. Every single level in this game feels so unique. They all have their own gimmick that works so well that they even add to the experience of the level. From selling your soul to a demon and having to complete his contracts for your timepieces, to helping 2 movie directors create the best movie of the year. Every single level has its own theme and charm that fits so well into this wonderful and goofy game. Every single song in this game fits so well with the world that you are in and adds so much to the experience. The intense jazz playing as you run through the train, the light but spooky music that plays as you wander through the haunted forest, or the wistful wind instruments playing as you glide your way through the sky from island to island. The soundtrack in this game is so wonderful that I had a problem picking out my favorite song to use in this video. Every single world has such a uniqueness to it that allowed the developers to create these wonderful worlds to explore. Everything is just so fun. A Hat in Time does a wonderful job at allowing the player to find secrets on their own while also slowly guiding them along, and the hats are such a perfect example of this. The hats are such a fun concept. Instead of just giving you a gimmick in a level and then later forgetting about it until the final test, A Hat in Time allows the player to unlock these different hats and use these gimmicks throughout every single level. Everything these hats can do is presented to the player at the moment they start the game. So after you obtain a new hat, you might remember something that you saw in an earlier level, and go back and see what this secret holds. These hats are such a unique and fun way to add more mechanics to the game without having them just in 1 or 2 different levels. There is little to no story in A Hat in Time, but to me, there is nothing wrong with that. Making sure that your game is fun first is something that some other developers need to look at before they release their games. I would much rather play a wonderful game that is fun for just 10 hours instead of something that is needlessly long with just a few fun parts scattered about. I love the fact that this game has almost no filler. You are playing the game almost every single minute, and to me, that is something that is just so important. A Hat in Time is a wonderful example of how a game doesn't need a complicated story to be fun and enjoyable.